Today, we're hearing about the real estate business from an agent on the team that's got a few years under his belt, plus we're taking the temperature of the market so far. Today, we have the wonderful David Balsden. Thanks for coming on for your second time today.
Yeah, thank you, Peter.
Ringing in the new year with the Real Talk.
Yeah.
So, David, you've been on the team for a couple of years now and been in the business a couple of years now, and you've had some great success. I mean, you had a wonderful 2023 in real estate, and I wanted to chat with you just to give a bit of an inside look into how this business works and what are the important things that you do kind of day in and day out. So I want to ask you the first question. What would you say is kind of your biggest realization in, working real estate a couple of years and in what the business actually is and consists of day to day?
Yeah, a great question, because I came from 20 plus years of leadership roles in sales and marketing. So I thought I knew what selling was about.
Yeah.
And my biggest learning was that real estate is a lot harder than it looks to the general public. There's a lot more involved in a transaction, from processes to skills and training and learning. It took a lot more to ramp up than I was anticipating.
Yeah. And you took a long time figuring out the basics and the fundamentals of real estate to go out there and do a really fantastic job that you have done. How would you say, obviously being on the team, how do you think that's changed maybe the trajectory you would have been on if you had gone in as like an independent with another brokerage?
Yeah, so when I was evaluating where I wanted to build my real estate business, I talked to independent agents, I talked to other teams, and then over 30 years of living in Waterdown, I got to know the Woolcott name for obvious reasons. In fact, Drew used to call my house and ask me if I wanted to sell my house. And I'd just say, take a hike. But I was looking for a place that had processes. I'm a very process-oriented person. And so understanding that there's a place that I could lay my hat that had steps in place for every phase of a real estate transaction was very important to me. I didn't know what I was doing, and I needed to be able to leverage the experience of an existing team to do that. I had no interest in being an independent and trying to take all that on myself.
Awesome, and you definitely have. I mean, we definitely have very clear milestones for things that you have to do. What would be your advice for agents on a team or agents as an independent for what they should focus on, consistently in 2024 in order to have a good year in real estate?
Yeah, for me, it's really two things. The first is constant communication with your database. You just can't let them slide and think that they're not ready yet, because life changes. And that's kind of what I tell all my people when I'm calling them is, I know you told me you weren't doing anything last time, but we all know life changes.
Exactly.
So there's constant communication, but then there's also continuously adding to your database. I don't think you're going to be infinitely successful in real estate if you rely on what's already in your circle. You need to continuously build that.
Always adding to your
pipeline.
Add to it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're 2.5 weeks into January. I've got to ask you, as I ask almost everybody on the show, how are you finding things? What's the temperature in the real estate market?
I think the temperature is rising. Finally. Buyers are starting to get active because we've heard some great stories and news about potential rate decreases this year. And so they're starting to get some excitement and some action going, which is then translating into a few more seller calls. They're thinking, well, maybe now I can sell because the buyers might come to market. So it's looking up for 2024 for sure.
I think so. I mean, we've seen a ton more activity on our listings, lots more buyers calling into the team on our listings, sellers, as you had mentioned. We've had a bunch of inventory clear, I guess off the shelves that, hadn't sold for months. Things that, maybe we didn't expect to sell so soon in the year. So we're very excited for what's going to happen in 2024. Thank you very much for coming on, David. Good to have you.
Pleasure. Thanks.